For thousands of years, every vessel on water moved one way: wind, oars, or the raw strength of human arms. You went where the weather allowed, and only as fast as your body could endure. Then, in barely a century, boat motors transformed everything: travel, fishing, trade, recreation, even warfare itself. But the rise from sails to speed was built on frustration, failure, and inventors who refused to keep rowing. To cross a lake or travel a river was a grueling physical negotiation. Hoisting a canvas sail offered distance, but surrendered direction to a fickle breeze. To choose a precise path, travelers relied on wooden paddles and heavy sweeps. But these tools demanded relentless physical labor, transforming simple fishing trips or cargo runs into exhausting battles against the current. A sudden calm could freeze a wooden hull in place for hours, while a sudden squall could sweep a vessel miles off course. The true struggle on the water was not a lack of speed, but a total lack of control. Livelihoods and survival depended entirely on a cooperative sky. It was a vast, unforgiving environment waiting for a way to move on demand. On August 17, 1807, a strange, wood-burning vessel slipped into the Hudson River. Robert Fulton's Clermont looked like a floating engine room with paddle wheels strapped to its sides. As black smoke billowed into the sky, the ship did something that defied centuries of maritime wisdom. It marched directly against the river's current, entirely under its own power. The Clermont completed a 150-mile journey to Albany in just 32 hours, averaging about 5 miles per hour. By moving without sails or oars, Fulton broke the old assumption that humans had to wait on the wind. Suddenly, the impossible was real. Powered navigation had arrived. But this revolution came with massive physical burdens. Early steam engines were giant, fire-breathing monsters. They required massive copper boilers, heavy cast iron frames, and tons of wood or coal just to keep the pressure up. Worse, they were dangerous. In the early 19th century, poorly constructed boilers exploded with terrifying frequency, turning passenger vessels into high-pressure hazards. For large river ferries and cargo ships, the scale and the danger were trade-offs worth making. But for the ordinary fisherman, the small-scale worker, or the recreational boater, steam was completely useless. A small boat simply could not carry the weight of a boiler and its fuel without sinking. And even if it could, building up enough steam pressure to move took hours of prep work. Who would wait half a day just to cross a quiet lake to go fishing? The dream of personal freedom on the water remained locked away, waiting for an engine that was light, quick, and compact enough to fit on a simple hull. The industry had proven that machinery could tame the water, but the ultimate solution remained frustratingly out of reach. By the late 19th century, the internal combustion engine offered a completely new path forward. Steam engines required massive boilers, heavy cast iron frames, and tons of coal. By contrast, internal combustion relied on liquid gasoline. A small, lightweight tank replaced bulky coal bunkers, and the hours of preparation required to build steam pressure shrank to mere minutes. A simple hand crank could spark a boat to life, shifting water travel from heavy commercial transport to personal convenience. An internal combustion engine could be lifted by a single person, fitting easily onto a small boat's stern. In 1905, inventor Cameron Waterman patented a way to bring this compact power directly to everyday rowboats. His Porto motor was a detachable 2-horsepower gasoline unit that clamped straight onto a wooden transom. Waterman proved that a portable, self-contained boat motor was a realistic dream, but his early machines struggled on the water. With a single cylinder running parallel to the drive shaft, the Porto motor shook skiffs violently, earned the nickname Coughing Sarah for its stubborn starting, and frequently overheated. The detachable engine was real, but it remained a vibrating, temperamental novelty, leaving the promise of effortless boating out of reach. In August 1906, on Lake Okauchee, Wisconsin, a young machinist named Ole Evinrude rowed 2.5 miles in 90-degree heat to fetch ice cream for his fiancée, Bess Carey. By the time he returned, the treat had melted. Sweating and frustrated, Ole realized that rowing was an outdated punishment. The water needed a better engine, and he had the background to build it. Ole had emigrated from Norway as a child, later mastering precision metal casting in Milwaukee's tool shops. He recognized that early detachable designs vibrated violently because their cylinders sat parallel to the drive shaft. In his workshop, Ole turned the cylinder perpendicular to the shaft. He integrated a 1.5 horsepower, water-cooled powerhead with a vertical drive shaft using angled bevel gears to spin a horizontal propeller. The entire 62-pound unit could be carried by one person and clamped straight onto a rowboat transom. In the spring of 1909, Ole tested his prototype on Milwaukee's Kinnickinnic River. The motor did not choke or shake, it hummed across the water at a steady clip. A crowd of onlookers instantly saw the potential. An ordinary skiff could change its identity in seconds. Fishing and weekend recreation became accessible, fast, and physically effortless. Ole and Bess incorporated the Evinrude Motor Company, securing a $5,000 investment from C.J. Meyer to scale up production. Bess took charge of the business, handling the books and writing a brilliant marketing line that appeared in print ads: "Don't row, throw the oars away." By undercutting heavier, permanent inboard setups, this simple, reliable clamp-on motor democratized the waterways. It transformed boating from a grueling chore into a modern, accessible escape for ordinary families. The isolated workshop soon gave way to an unyielding corporate battleground. By the 1920s and the 1930s, the Johnson brothers and Carl Kiekhaefer's Mercury Marine joined Evinrude in a constant race for the water. The struggle shifted from simply making a motor work to making it effortless. Heavy cast iron was swapped for lightweight aluminum alloys, cutting engine weights by nearly 40% to spare boaters from backbreaking strain. Cumbersome, dangerous hand cranks were replaced by simple electric starters, making the water accessible to everyone. Reliability was no longer a gamble, it was the ultimate selling point. When World War II arrived, this fierce rivalry faced the ultimate test. Small, fast landing craft and patrol boats demanded high speed and shallow drafts to cross coral reefs and navigate rivers under fire. The Outboard was no longer a weekend novelty. It was a mature, tactical tool of global power. Millions of roaring two-stroke engines soon blanketed lakes and rivers, but this mass convenience carried a heavy toll. These simple motors dumped unburned fuel and oily exhaust straight into the water, while their high-pitched noise shattered local waterways. By the late 20th century, environmental damage forced a redesign. Stricter rules from the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and the California Air Resources Board compelled manufacturers to phase out traditional two-strokes, accelerating the move to cleaner four-stroke engines and precise direct injection systems. Today, silent electric outboards and hybrid battery systems are pushing propulsion into a quiet, clean future. Today, we stand on the edge of a new, silent revolution as electric propulsion takes the helm. Our relentless drive to conquer the water hasn't changed. Only the power pushing us forward. Where will this next current take us? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more epic histories.